All right. What up? What up? What up? What up? What is up? Welcome back to another live stream. 15 to 20 minutes late, as usual, running on brown time, but that's okay. We're all here now. What up? What up? Drop your questions in the chat. Dating, self improvement. Happy New Year. Let's hear it. Drop your questions in the chat. What up? It's good, homie. What up? Any questions, dating, self-improvement, drop them in the chat, or you could click the pinned comment to join the stream directly. Happy New Year, boys. Just as a reminder, if you haven't already, link is in the description to purchase my book, South Asian Casanova. My new book, South Asian Casanova, is out, published on Amazon. Let's run this thing up. Grab your copy. Very easy read, by the way. Didn't make it like anything too complicated. Like, you could honestly finish this read in like a couple days. It's nothing that crazy. But if you haven't grabbed your copy of my book, man, super cheap. Link in the description. Published on Amazon. Go grab your copy. Very quick read. Easy read. It's my guide to dating for South Asian men. Grab your copy if you haven't already. And for those of you guys that have grabbed your copy, when you're finished reading the book, be sure to leave a review on Amazon. I'm not sure how Amazon algorithm works. I don't know if it's the same thing as YouTube, but I'm pretty sure if a book on Amazon gets a lot of traction or comments or reviews or purchases, it boosts the Amazon algorithm to push the book out. I'm also completely speculating. I mean, I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm just guessing Amazon might be similar to YouTube where a video gets a lot of like likes and comments. It pushes the video out more. I don't know how Amazon works, but I'm pretty sure if you publish a book on Amazon and it gets a lot of sales and likes and reviews, Amazon algorithm might push it out more. I have no idea. I'm guessing, but I think that's how it works. I don't know. But anyways, if you haven't already, grab your copy of my book, man. Grab your copy. Link is in the description. Link is in literally all my YouTube videos. South Asian Casanova. All right. Drop your questions in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. Just give me a few. No worries. All right. What do you think the new visa freeze, which includes Pakistan and Bangladesh and most of the Muslim world, affect dating for South Asian men, especially sub fives? I don't think it's going to, I mean, visa freeze. Are you talking about the what Trump did recently? I'm not really a political person, man. I haven't been paying attention to the news. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think it's going to really affect dating. At the end of the day, regardless if you're, above a 5 or you're working towards becoming more attractive, you're still going to have to do the same work. You're still going to have to, if you're not that attractive and you're already living in the West, you're still going to have to put in the work, looks max, go to the gym, eat healthy, lean max, dress well, style, grooming, confidence, cold approach, put in the reps, put in the work, online presentation, all of that still matters. You know what I mean? Even if, you have made it, even if you're above like a 5, 6, even if you're like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, you guys still got to sustain whatever you've built. Right. Yeah. I'm not really sure what you mean by this question, but I mean, I don't think it's necessarily going to affect dating. I mean, dating and this stuff is pretty exclusive. At the end of the day, it's like women are women, female nature is female nature. I don't really see how that has much to do with a visa freeze. Um, yeah. Sorry I couldn't answer your question. I mean, I don't know if I answered your question or not, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, not really a political person. I mean, yeah, I haven't really given it much thought, being honest, but see what you said. It includes spouse visa. Basically, people from countries can't come to US unless they are tourists. Basically, arranged marriage is shut out. That's interesting. Um, hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to think about it, like how that could necessarily affect. I mean, that's the thing, right? So you said it includes spouse visa. Basically, people from those countries can't come to the US unless they are tourists. So what if they can't get like a US citizenship, right? Or what if they get that's interesting actually now that I think about it. So what if they want to go to college like in the US or something like that? How does that work? Or does that not work anymore? Or is there an exception to people who are coming to the US for like a job or like college or university or something like that? Um, yeah, that's actually interesting. Because I know India that didn't get affected by that, but Pakistan and Bangladesh did. So I mean, either way, I mean, the main hub of South Asia didn't get affected, so there'll still be a lot of foreigners regardless. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's actually kind of interesting to think about. Um, yeah, I don't know if people. I mean, is he allowing people to like come to the U.S. for college purposes, or they just can't come like at all, unless it's just I don't know visiting the U.S. Yeah, I don't know. I have to give it some more thought, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to affect like dating in a sense. Because at the end of the day, if you're I guess what's the term? If you're a sub five in South Asia, you'd still be a sub five regardless if you move to America or not. At the end of the day, you still got to put in the work. You still got to make yourself as attractive as possible in all these areas of life and increase your sexual market value. Interesting question. Um, yeah, honestly, I hate using those terms, by the way, like sub five, Chad light, even the red pillish terms like alpha male, beta male. I find them all like pretty cringe. Um, yeah. All right. Drop any questions in the chat that aren't necessarily political and actually are on topic with dating and self improvement. Can answer them. Um, or if you want to come in the stream, maybe get some, I don't know, some looks maxing advice, or if you want just to talk to me directly, just click the pinned comment. Don't be shy. Or we can make this actually we can make this a little bit more engaging. All right. Let me try something. If you want to get like a live review from me on your dating app photos, email them to this email, southasianfit@gmail.com. And then I can take a look and literally coach you. Free coaching right here. Let me know. Email your dating app pics to that email, southasianfit@gmail.com. And I'll take a look and see what's up. Why the hell not? Your opportunity. If you miss out, you miss out. Or you know what? You send a screen recording of your dating app profile to this might be a little easier. Send a screen recording of your dating app profile to southasianfit@gmail.com if you want. If you want some free, quick coaching, take a look at your dating app profile, tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you can improve on. See if anybody's going to step up to the plate and do it. Drop your questions, any questions you got in the chat. Dating, self-improvement, looks maxing. Drop your questions in the chat. Yeah, my bad. My internet's acting really weird. If anyone wants a free dating profile review, just send me a screen recording, southasianfit@gmail.com. You can get it reviewed live right now with a couple people watching. If not, then just drop any questions you got in the chat. Dating related, self-improvement related. Any questions, drop them in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. Don't get too many, I'll end the stream early. But yeah. For those of you just joining the stream, if you want, you could also send a screen recording of your dating app profile to my email, southasianfit@gmail.com. And then you'll get it reviewed live right here. I could take a look, tell you what you're doing good, what you can improve on, what needs to change. It's kind of type of stuff I do with my one-to-one clients. So make use of it. Otherwise, yeah. Make use of it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't do this that much publicly, but if you're tuning in right now, it's your lucky day. Again, you can send a screen recording of your dating app profile, to southasianfit@gmail.com. You can get it reviewed live right here. And if not, well, just drop your questions in the chat. There's a rad fire. I think I responded to your comments on one of my videos today, man. I know you're saying some stuff about your dating app profile. Now's your chance, bro. Let's see it. southasianfit@gmail.com. Email some pics of your dating app profile or send a screen recording. You can get it reviewed right now. Let's see what you're working with. I believe it was you that I responded to in one of the YouTube comments earlier. But to answer your question, aside from this side business, what do you do for work? I think you said IT or project manager. Yeah, I don't want to share too much of my personal life. Um, yeah, I'm in project management. Um, I do some consulting kind of stuff. For like some engineering firm. I don't want to go too much into what I do in my like personal life, but yeah, standard 9 to 5. Um, in the STEM field. Yeah. Just don't like mixing, my other job with this stuff, and then you never know who's watching, you know? But yeah, it's something STEM related in the consulting kind of field, in project management. Don't want to give away too much more, but yeah. All right. Any questions? Dating, self improvement, men's lifestyle? Drop them in the chat. We got 6 people watching the stream. Let's make this more engaging. Let's get some more questions on dating related stuff, self improvement questions. And tonight I'm doing this thing where you can send a screen recording of your dating app profile to my email, southasianfit@gmail.com. Yeah, now's your chance, and you can get it reviewed live if you want. Also, to anybody else, you can also click the pinned comment and join the stream directly and ask me any questions. Actually, I haven't had people join the stream in a long time, so that would be kind of cool. So drop your questions in the chat. If we dive deeper to South Asian men, how more Bangladeshi guys and Nepalese guys are getting more white girls? I don't know, man. I don't do the statistics on this shit. The ones that are succeeding with white girls are succeeding with white girls. The ones that aren't. The ones that have a good dating life have made themselves more attractive, increase their sexual market value, are getting whatever girls they desire. The people that aren't putting in the work aren't getting the girls they desire. You know what I mean? In terms of interracial dating, I mean, I see it, right? It's harder. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely, interracial dating is becoming more and more common, and it's definitely harder for minorities, but it's not impossible if you put in the work. I say it all the time. The more attractive you make yourself in all these areas of life, social skills, looks, confidence, hitting the gym, purpose, the more you increase your sexual market value, the more objectively attractive you make yourself, the more options you're going to have in the dating market, regardless of your race. So there's tons of top tier Bengali guys, Nepalese guys, South Asian guys that are doing well in dating. And then the ones that, aren't are probably the ones, they are the ones that aren't putting in the work to improve their dating life. So all right, look, screen recording. Let's take a look at this. See if my computer can even like download this. Hold on. One second. All right, to whomever sent this, give me 1 second. My Wi-Fi is being a little weird, but let's see. All right, let's see if we can share screen on this on the StreamYard. All right, share screen. Question is, how the hell do you share screen on this? Oh, hold on. 1 second. See if we got this. Share screen. Share entire screen. Share window. All right, let's see what happens. All right, I think we are good. All right, let's review this guy's dating app profile that he just sent. Let's see. Okay. I think you guys can see this. I think. All right, I think you guys can see this. Right? All right, I guess let me know in the comments if you can't see this. Should be able to. Okay, so we got Sebastian's dating app profile. So, all right, Sebastian says 28, couple, Texas, United States, European Hispanic. That's interesting. All right. Yeah, so right off the bat, dude, horrible first picture. You don't want like a selfie ever in your dating app profile like this, okay? It needs to be a full body shot of you in good style, fashion, good background, or a shot of you, say, sitting down at a coffee shop, bar, restaurant with a drink in your hand. I'm basically laying down my entire framework that I use for like my clients real quick, right, on how to do this. But yeah, no, never start with one of these weird like selfies. You know, you're already putting yourself in a horrible position. You're making like a weird face in this. You know, if a girl sees this profile, she's just gonna get uncomfortable right off the bat and swipe left. You know, whatever dating app this you're on. Again, you know, group picture, really cringe group picture, nothing aesthetic about it. You shouldn't use group pictures in your dating app profile. All right. The only exception is if you have like some social proof. All right. If you got some social proof, you know, and you have your friend in the background, like when you're doing an activity, that's fine. Otherwise, cringe stuff like that, don't be doing stuff like that. Like, no girl's going to be turned on. You know what I mean? Just looking at this shit. I would change this to like either a full body shot, fashion shot. Honestly, just not this like weird group photo. It could be even a shot of you like just like walking around and like during downtown, like in the city, right? Full body shot, or you know, do what I was saying earlier, have a shot of you at a coffee shop, bar, restaurant, aesthetic background, right? Drink in your hand, you know, show some social proof. Way better social proof, you know, in a restaurant bar environment than having like this weird photo with your friend in the back, with your friend right here. It'll definitely need a lot of work, buddy. Again, cringe selfie. Horrible. Slowly starting my religious journey, but I'm getting there, looking to meet the person that will help me along and be my sidekick in life. I want someone smart and happy and kind. I want someone that can be successful in life. Yeah, I mean, This bio doesn't really spark much, female gaze to me at all. Um, you need to start talking about things that spark more curiosity and interest with women, right? If I was a girl and I saw this bio, I would think like this is someone who's trying to, get me to go to church more, right? Not really sparking attraction from women. Yeah, man. I mean, this is overall, if I were to rate this profile, I mean, the only good thing you did was fill out all the things you're required to fill out. I mean, at least you have your interests, your future plans are on there. But other than just the text, I mean, overall, I'd give this profile like a -2 out of 10. I know I'm not going to be that harsh. On a scale of 5, right? I'd give this like probably a 0, probably like a 1 out of 10, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10. Doesn't spark any female gaze, a bunch of mirror selfies, and one weird ass group photo. That ain't gonna turn any girl on, buddy. Got a lot of work to do. Suggest you watch my dating app videos and learn how to properly do dating apps. But yeah, I'm not trying to, roast you. Well, I mean, I kind of did roast you, but you get the point, I mean, I'm just trying to help you guys out the best I can. And it just goes to show, the average person's dating app profile, it's garbage, right? You need photos that spark, more interest. You need prompts that spark more interest. You need photos that cater towards the female gaze, right? You need photos of you, even in dope, cool environments, right? With good fashion, style. None of this sparks female gaze to me at all. Just, you guys have to put an effort into your dating app profiles. This is an effort to me. This is just like a dude who woke up one day and is like, oh, there's this thing called dating apps. And he goes into his little iPhone archive and just picks a bunch of random photos, This is like a 1 out of 10 dating app profile. So watch my videos, y'all can do a lot better. But I appreciate you submitting, at least, appreciate you stepping up to the plate and submitting, man. At least you took action in submitting. I'll give you that. But yeah, definitely a lot of work to do, my friend. All right. All right. J-Star says, what does it mean to be grounded? When I'm talking about grounded is basically the same as like calm. You're not just like, you don't get frazzled real easily. You're like calm, cool, collected. You're stable in your actions and what you mean, right? You don't hesitate. You don't stutter. You're not, you don't get frazzled real easily, right? You're calm, cool, collected. It's the best way I can describe what grounded means. I'm assuming you got that because I mentioned it in my book, right? I talk about being grounded a lot in my book, South Asian Casanova. All right. Dating, self-improvement, or you could join the stream live and talk to me directly. Okay. Yeah, I do talk about being grounded in there a lot. How do you like the book, by the way? Yeah, calm, cool, collected. Best way I can describe it. Go ahead, drop your questions in the chat. I'm going to fill this water up. Awesome, man. Glad you like the book. Yeah, it starts getting really good around chapter 3. Yeah, chapter 3, that's when the good stuff happens. Same with chapter 2. Chapter 1 is kind of long and lengthy and all about mindset, but if you can get past chapter 1, the rest of it starts getting real juicy in there. And by the way, if you want to grab a copy of my book, again, link is in the description to grab a copy of my book. Link in the description if you want to grab a copy of this. And if you've finished reading the book, go ahead, drop a review on Amazon, man. Like I was saying earlier, I'm not, obviously this isn't YouTube. Amazon and YouTube aren't the same thing. But if I were to take a guess on how Amazon promotes books on there, I'm sure the books that get a lot of reviews, positive reviews, get promoted more. I don't know. That's just my logical guess. So if you have finished the book, just drop a quick review on Amazon. It helps the Amazon algorithm push the book out. Of course, I'm taking a guess. I think that's how it works, but yeah, drop a review. Also, if you need help with your dating life, whether it be dating app optimization, so you don't end up getting a shit dating app profile like the guy that sent me his just now. If you want help with your dating life, you want help with your dating app profile so you get more matches, better results in the dating market, or you're struggling with approach anxiety, you're struggling, just with attraction, right? Check out the other link in the description to join my school community. The school community has tons of video modules, exclusive content, and the ability to work with me one-on-one if you really want to take this to the next level. I also have somewhere in there where you could register and get a personalized photo shoot. A lot, if you're interested in the photo shoot, yeah, join the school community. You could sign up in there. The photo shoot is something I recently implemented. Basically, the hotel, basically I would be taking your photos for this photo shoot, but the hotel would be already paid for. You would just have to purchase the flight ticket to come to me, but your hotel would already be taken care for. And it would be a lot of fun to be taking your photos, giving you a fashion consult. This is something very new I implemented in my school community. It's photo shoot for dating apps. And if you're interested in that and you want me to take your photos, just join the school community and sign up. Again, the reason I'm funneling this only for people that are in the school community is because I want people who are serious about improving their dating life, right? So again, if you want matches like I've gotten on dating apps, I recommend, just give the photo shoot a shot. You'll get my honest feedback, how to pose, how to present yourself better, in photos. You get all your photos taken by me. But one last thing, before we end this part about photos, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. If you are overweight and over 15% body fat, 1.5, I'm not going to lie to you. You could have the fanciest photo shoot in the world, but if you're not in good shape, dating apps are going to be significantly harder. So for those of you guys that do decide to, join the school community and even sign up for a photo shoot, there's even a disclaimer at the bottom where I've explained yeah, you could have the photo shoot, but at the end of the day, if you're not in good shape, right, no amount, high quality photos are going to help your results. Get your ass into shape, get leaner, at least 15% body fat or less. And then, yeah, if you really want to take it to the next level, you can sign up for a photo shoot with me. That option is inside the school community. So you're spot on about how Indian families condition you. My family was just like, become a medical doctor and be slim and you can get any girl you want. Yeah. I'm glad you're finding it pretty relatable, man. That's the whole point, you know. I'm glad it kind of like hit home for you. Go ahead, drop your questions in the chat. Anything dating related, self improvement, looks maxing, and got you. How did I get better at becoming grounded? I just think naturally when you get older, right? So I'm 32 years old. I've gone through so much crap in my 20s, and I think just as you get older, especially for men, we just naturally become more grounded. We go through so much crap in our life and journey and leveling up. I've been through so much stuff in my 20s, lots of ups and downs, a lot of harsh times. And I think over the years, it just compounded. Like, you know what? Life's always going to have stresses, negative crap. What am I going to do? Am I going to sit there and, you know, just contemplate my life and feel sorry for myself? Or am I going to just, accept it for what it is, that shit just happens sometimes every now and then in life, right? But that's part of being a man. Being a man is always going to be difficult. You're always going to have a lot of expectations and pressure on you. You're going to, be in a huge competition with other men, right? You know, things just aren't always going to go your way, right? Life as a man is supposed to be hard, and that's a good thing, right? You need to accept that things aren't always going to go your way. It's a battle, it's a war, but you keep fighting. And, every negative thing that happens to you is just one step closer to you just, becoming a stronger person, right? And I think, just growing up and then just going through all the stuff I went through, like in my personal life in my 20s, just the more, stuff you go through in life, you just, become more mature, a better person, more calm. You've handled tough situations. And as a result, you get more grounded. It's probably, I'd say, the best way people just naturally become more grounded. I think some of the worst people are the ones that grew up in very privileged, rich households. They had a lot of things given to them, right? Or they have, wealthy families and they don't have to work much. They can never work a single day in their life ever again because their family put in all the work and they don't have to do anything, right? I think those are some of the worst people. They grew up spoiled and rich. They don't have to try hard at all. And as a result, those people get complacent. That don't achieve much in life because, their parents laid that foundation for them. But, I think some of the best ways is I think the people that, have it hard growing up, didn't come from the most privileged backgrounds, had to really work, didn't have anything handed to them. If they can, break out of this matrix that we live in, if they can, even, find a job or whatever that they actually enjoy doing, right? And as long as they can make money enjoying what they're doing, they're not trapped in any type of career that they don't enjoy. And, they're working hard for their family, providing for their family, right? That's all there is to, being a man, right? Providing for your family, your wife, your children, and of course, working a job that you actually like, right? And of course, being in shape and all of that. But not to get too off topic, being grounded, it's definitely part of it's just being a more mature, getting more mature as you get older. Part of it is just going through a lot of things in your life, a lot of things that come at you, back at you, get spit at you, right? Going through the harsh tides of life, right? You learn how to deal with a lot of stresses and you realize it is what it is. Life is tough as a man, but that's a good thing. It helps you become more calm and helps you become more grounded, more mature, more calm, more confident, knowing that you could get through anything. All right. Since this is about self-improvement, what study methods did you use to do well in school, and how many hours did you study a day? Um, yeah, honestly, I didn't do that well. I'm not gonna say I didn't do that well in school. I did okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know. In college, I'll be honest, I wasn't the best student. I had like right under a 3.0 GPA. Um, I don't think I'm the best person to be giving advice when it comes to academia and school by any means, man. Um, but if I could go back, in time and get better grades, I'd definitely, not waste my time doing dumb stuff, not wasting my time, getting so distracted and going to parties and chasing all these girls, right? I would definitely wake up a lot earlier, get a good night's sleep, get those hours in of studying in the morning, first thing, right? Instead of, cramming it all the night before a test. I think, if I could go back, I'd use a lot of the lessons that I've learned, in my 20s for sure. And into my, yeah, definitely a lot of these lessons I've learned in like my late 20s for sure. If I were to go back, right, I'd say, every single day, put in a couple hours of work in the morning so you're not cramming the night before an exam, get plenty of rest. Um, block your study hours, don't get distracted, put your phone away, put it on silent, put it in another room, right? Throw it across the room, right? Somewhere where you can't touch it. Um, it's funny, a lot of the same self-improvement habits can also apply to those of you guys that are in college too. So, yeah, hope that helped. I wasn't the best student back then. But I think if I did go back to school, if I were to, go back in time, knowing what I know now about education, I definitely get a lot of better grades. That's for sure. Since I, definitely a lot more disciplined now than I was back then. So if I could go back, yeah, definitely be a lot more organized, going to bed at a consistent time, getting the right amount of hours of sleep, putting in little pieces of work, bits of work, studying a couple hours every single day in the morning, first thing, not goofing off, not cramming right before the night before an exam. I probably run circles around most of the people in my graduating class, honestly, if I'm knowing what I know now. So, yeah, solid question. All right. Any dating related questions? Drop them in the chat. Dating, self-improvement questions, go ahead, drop them in the chat. It is 10:04 p.m. US Eastern time. Not gonna lie, I am getting pretty tired since hasn't been too many people joining the stream tonight. Might end this one maybe in like the next 10 minutes or so. But shout out to all the people that had questions, joined. Shout out to the one dude who submitted his dating app profile, even though it was one of the most garbage dating app profiles I've ever seen. Hey, you submitted something, you got my feedback, you got a lot of work to do, you got a lot of photo work to do on your photos, that's for sure. Learn the female gaze, watch my videos on dating app profile optimization, get better photos, stop taking selfies, work on your style. But shout out to that guy regardless of at least stepping up to the plate and submitting something, right? Better than the rest of you guys that didn't submit shit. But yeah, definitely got a lot of work to do on your profile, my friends. So definitely recommend watching my dating app profile videos and female gaze and dating app online profile optimization videos. All right. Got any questions? Drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat. Dating, self-improvement related, drop them in the chat. Oh, I guess I didn't answer the second part of your question. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, man, I mean, if I could go back, I would have studied at least a couple hours a day. But back in the day, I was a crammer for sure. I crammed like a couple days before the exam. It didn't do me much good. I mean, I still passed the classes, but I didn't get the best grades in the world by any means. But I'd say at least a couple hours every single day you should be studying if you're still in school. All right, this question. You say in your book you want a man who is intentional. What does that mean? So a guy who has who doesn't feed around the bush, you know what I mean? Is like straightforward in what he wants. Doesn't like play games, is like very intentional. Doesn't The best way to say it is isn't a sissy. You know what I mean? A guy who is intentional, right? Knows what he wants, goes for what he wants, and communicates with women well. That's the best way I can describe it. If you like this girl, you dated for a while, and you like this girl and you want a relationship, cool. If you want to continue to hook up with her, right, then tell her, right? Don't be scared, to voice your thoughts, your opinions. Say what you mean. Be intentional, right? That doesn't mean to be a dick to people, but it also doesn't mean to just, not get your words out, right? Don't be scared. Be bold. Say what's on your mind. Do everything with a purpose, right? Women want men who are driven, who have a purpose in life. There's a purpose behind everything that they do. That's the best way to sum up intentional. The man who does everything with a purpose, has a purpose behind everything he does. A man that doesn't waste time. That's the best way I can word it to you. How many watches should a man own? I'm thinking of getting a gold colored watch because it matches my brown skin tone. Solid choice. Should I get a brown too? Need watches to complement my suits and casual wear. I had 3 at one point. Now I have 2. One of them's the gold Fossil watch. It goes well with everything. And one of them is also like a Vincero. It used to be like a popular watch brand that a lot of these like men's lifestyle influencers would often promote in their videos. But those are the only 2 watches I have. The Vincero is like a very basic watch. It's just, no like crazy like metallic wrapping around it. It's just like a leather strap, a normal watch, right? The Fossil is a little bit more fancier, but I think 2 is enough. Yeah, gold color watch is solid. Any classy kind of old school watch is fine. Just don't get an Apple watch or a digital watch, But I'd say 2 is a solid number to have. A lot of people are more like watch collectors. They'll have like 7, 8, 9 watches. I would never do that. I had the worst luck with watches. A lot of watches that I buy end up breaking somehow, or I accidentally scratch them. There was a girl I dated. She took one of my watches and never gave it back. I never got it back. I've left watches at my friends' places. I've left watches at other people's places, and then I forget about it, on accident even, right? So I've lost a good amount of watches. I've had watches taken from me, like behind my back. I've had watches being scratched that I've had. I've had watches that I've broken by accident that have gotten scratched. I don't have the best luck with watches. I don't know what it is, but just because of that, I mean, I usually stick with my two watches that I have, the Fossil and the Vincero. Um, no one's taken those, no one's stolen those watches from me behind my back. I used to have some absolute shit friends that would just take things from me behind my back. Um, Watches, sweatshirts, hoodies. There was a girl I dated. I don't date her anymore, but I accidentally left my watch at her place. I was going to pick it up, but we actually ended up breaking up before I even got a chance to pick my watch back up. And she never even mailed it back to me, right? She never returned it to me. So who knows where that watch is? Um, but this was a couple years ago. But yeah, I've had the worst luck with a lot of these watches. So nowadays I'm like, forget watch collections, you know? A lot of these watches break easily, scratch easily. So honestly, if you can just have like two solid watches, I'd say that's enough. Yeah. Went on a little bit of a tangent there. All right. Yeah, I'll just stick with two watches. I mean, I don't know what your luck is with watches, but for me, it's like they get misplaced. Um, I've had watches break easily, scratch easily. I've even lost some watches in the past. I used to have some shit friends who would borrow watches, never give them back, which essentially is stealing. Um, yeah, I'd say, guard your watches, take care of them. Honestly, just having two of them is enough. It's hard to keep track of a lot of them. There are girls that I just want a short-term relationship, maybe like two romantic weekend getaways, and that's it. Still want to be friends though. I've always been a big believer that girls and guys, most guys can't just like be friends with girls unless they can stop thinking, with their dick all the time. Most guys just aren't able to do it with attractive women. And I think in most cases, girls and guys just can't be friends, right? Doesn't make sense, honestly. In terms of a short term relationship, I mean, I would say, get your online profile on Hinge or one of these dating apps up to par and then just be honest with your intentions on there. Every one of these dating app profiles has the option to select something casual or not looking for something serious on there. I'll just do that, get your online presentation up to par, and you'll have tons of girls looking for something casual. That's my hack, honestly, to people who are looking for something casual. Maximize your online presentation. Get on, one or two of these dating apps, maybe Bumble or Hinge, and then just set your what are you looking for to short term relationship or something casual. And then boom, there you go. All right. My cousin buys $40,000 Rolexes. That's insane. He's a watch collector. He says the Rolex never lose value and he can get his money back, but I think he's dumb with this crazy $1 million watch collection. What say you? I never saw the hype in Rolexes. Like, I really don't think it's worth the money for a freaking icon around your. Well, it's a status symbol, right? But at the end of the day, like, how many women actually look at your wrist and they're like, "Oh my god, that's a Rolex. I want to be with him more now that he has a Rolex," right? I mean, yeah, you'll get compliments, but if anything, I feel like there'll be more compliments with dudes than women. Watches, classy watches, any classy watch can help with your aesthetics. Doesn't have to be a Rolex, right? So yeah, I never saw the hype in super fancy watches. Um well, that's the thing, right? On dating apps, it gives you the option of selecting short-term relationship, right? I think the best way for this is honestly using a dating app, using like Bumble or Hinge, and literally where in the section on Hinge where it says, "What are you looking for?" select short-term relationship, you know? And yeah, the girl shouldn't be surprised if you want to end things early or you're not looking for something serious if you go on dates with whoever you match with, right? Because you literally communicated that in the first place on your profile by selecting short-term relationship. So I think the easiest way now, maybe not the easiest way, depending on how your online presentation is, but if you can maximize your online presentation towards the female gaze, have quality photos, watch the videos that I've made on online presentation and dating apps. If you go on like Hinge, Bumble, and then under the section where it's like, what are you looking for? Just say something casual, right? There's literally a drop down option on each of these dating app sections when you're building and constructing the profile. It says, what are you looking for? Literally select the option that gives you short-term relationship or the option that gives you casual. And then, hopefully most of these women can read, right? Otherwise, if they're not on par with what you're looking for, they're probably going to swipe left or unmatch you. But I think that's honestly the easiest way. Just get on the dating app, literally in your settings where the part when you're filling it out, the part that says, what are you looking for? Put in short-term relationship or put in something casual. That's the easiest way to do it, honestly. All right. I'm going to fill this up again, answer this last round of questions, and go to bed. All right. This dude says, I'm 20 in third year of college in Midwest. I'm a brown guy, 6'3", skinny. I'm terrified of talking to girls in person since I've never done it. I get matches on Tinder. Okay, so you probably have approach anxiety. You're 6'3", so that's pretty cool. I mean, you have the height gift. If you're skinny, go to the gym, lift weights, progressive overload. I've only had hookups off Tinder. Never met a girl in real life, but I want to be able to since Tinder is kind of hard and lower quality. I don't have a social circle at all, like no friends, no fake ID. I feel like the main problem is I've taken the black pill for so long. I feel like I can't talk to a girl unless I know they find me attractive. This is why I've only met girls off Tinder. Yeah, well, that's why I tell you guys, right? You never know until you actually try it, right? Yeah, rejection is part of the game. You know what I mean? You're going to get rejected. Like it's going to be tough. But at the end of the day, you have to shoot your shot. You have to understand how women are like off the whole social media, off the dating apps, right? I vouch for daytime cold approach a lot. I actually vouch for it more than I do on dating apps. But the easiest way, man, is don't even think about getting the number. Don't even think about getting rejected. Don't even think about it. And I say this a lot in my book, South Asian Casanova. At the end of the day, don't treat this like a marriage proposal. All right. Don't treat this when it comes to, you said you never talked to a girl, you never met women in real life. you got to stop thinking of this as like, oh, this girl, is make or break, right? Oh, you got to stop framing this like it's the end of the world if she rejects you. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, take small baby steps, right? This isn't a marriage proposal. This isn't you asking her to be your girlfriend. This isn't some girl that, and again, like even if you get rejected, chances are you're never gonna see that girl ever again, right? But it all starts really with that first approach you do and kind of just building momentum off that. So as a beginner, you probably have approach anxiety, mad approach anxiety. I would not even focus on getting a number. I would just go up to a girl and then literally just be like, hey, how's your day going? That is it. Make eye contact, walk up even if it's a girl that's just like passing you by, quick eye contact. Hey, how's your day going? Say it clear, loud, make good eye contact. Maybe she'll say something, stop for a couple seconds. Maybe she won't. Maybe she'll keep walking past you. But at the end of the day, it's all baby steps. It's this process basically called systematic desensitization. And I actually go over a lot of approach anxiety stuff in my school community. I have an entire module on cold approach, which if you're interested, it's the link in the description. It's my school community, South Asian Casanovas, tons of stuff on approach anxiety and cold approach on there if you're interested, man. But stop watching black pill content. Stop watching, you said you took in the black pill. Stop watching black pill content. Stop coming at it with such a doomer mindset, okay? That's the problem with a lot of these black pill guys. They've not actually left their couch and don't have experience talking to women in real life. A lot of you just watch this kind of like, you guys watch all this shit online. You watch these like street interviews and you watch all this crap on TikTok and Instagram. Get off this crap and actually form your own opinions and like literally see for yourself how women are like, right? Not every girl is some degenerate, hoe that's doing drunk street interviews, right? There's tons of quality women out there. You just got to talk to them during the day in normal environments, not at the club, not drinking alcohol, not when you're drunk, not at nighttime on the street, daytime-based environments, coffee shops, bookstores, farmers markets, grocery stores, even sign up for some classes, right? I shit you not, when I edit my videos nowadays, I literally go to a coffee shop and edit every single YouTube video because I know a coffee shop is a great place to meet women. I'll go to I'm not even talking about Starbucks. I'm not talking about like one of these like weird like mainstream coffee shops. You could go to like a little more of an upscale coffee shop or even like a hole in the wall coffee shop. Take your work there. And throughout the day, you're going to see women coming in, out, some women even working, maybe a couple tables down for you. What I like to do is, I edit my video, and if I see a cute girl, working a couple tables down for me, I'll take a break. I'll go over, introduce myself, quick 2-3 minute conversation, grab her number, and then just go back to working, right? I don't obsess over it. Even if she rejects me, it's cool. I'm not going to go pick up all my stuff and leave the coffee shop, right? So you got to really place yourself in environments where it's appropriate to be social, right? You got to place yourself also in environments where there's lots of women out there. And coffee shops are honestly the best thing, right? Yeah, you'll work for a little bit. Maybe you see a cute girl a couple tables down working as well on her laptop. Take a break, go up, start a conversation, ask her how her day's going, introduce yourself, even say what you're working on a little bit. Then be like, well, it was really cool meeting you. Maybe we could get together sometime. Leave her alone, right? It's not that hard. You know what I mean? It's really not that hard, right? If she rejects you, who cares? Just take it as a compliment. So I hope all these little tips help. I know I went on a tangent there, but start approaching women in real life. Don't go for the home run necessarily if you have approach anxiety. Just little things like that, like introducing yourself, placing yourself in environments where it's kind of weird, where you're not social. I honestly think going to like singles events is pretty good too, because it gives you an excuse to talk to women, right? But yeah, I'd say get off all this online crap. Go to your closest city, town center, right? Next time you see a girl, just offer a compliment. That's it. Doesn't matter if she looks the other way, ignores you. At least you're starting to become a little bit more desensitized, right? As simple as good mornings, good afternoons to cute girls as they walk by. As simple as giving girls compliments. This is called systematic desensitization. And the more you do this and you make these small steps each and every day to become a little bit more social, you'll get rid of that anxiety. So I hope all that advice helped. And if you want even more help with this, check out my school community. I have an entire module on cold approach and approach anxiety in there for you. Link is in the description if you're interested. What do you tell yourself when you get rejected, when you cold approach? I don't really care, man. I mean, I'm just like, her loss. That's about it. If she rejects me, I'm like, no worries. Take it all as a compliment. And then I walk away and go about my day. I really don't care, Even if there's like a lot of people around me and I get rejected and they start laughing, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Because most of those people would never do that. They would never approach. So, yeah, they can laugh all they want, but I just did something that 90% of people don't do in general, But if I get rejected from a cold approach, I really don't care. You know what I mean? It is what it is, right? There's plenty of other women out there. I have that abundance mindset, You need to have that abundance mindset. Thank you, bro. Needed to hear that. I need to just learn to get rejected. I'll try my hardest to just get out of my comfort zone. Yeah, man. Let me know what happens. Wish you nothing but the best, my dude. Someone mentioned interracial dating. I'll say FBI Director Kash Patel is dating a white girl who is 20 years younger than him. Well, that's interesting. I don't really know much about Kash Patel. How often do cold approaches work from your experience? They work. The first girl that I ever went on a date with in my entire life was from a cold approach in college. It's funny. My dating story was interesting, right? I struggled a lot with women in college. And then back in like 2012 or 13, I found that YouTube channel, Simple Pickup, and it was a bunch of minorities. It was like an Indian dude and an Asian dude. And it's funny, I even I watched like their approaches, and then I went and did it, and I got a girl's number, and I ended up going on a date with that chick, right? And if you're wondering, in high school, I was a loser. I didn't get anything, right? I didn't go on any dates in high school. So it was really in college where, I started really learning more about women and female nature and starting to unlock, all these layers and started cold approaching, right? But yeah, no, the first girl I went on a date with, I met her at the mall all the way back in 2012, 2013 from a cold approach. Yeah. I'm not sure what she's up to nowadays, but she was pretty cute. So yeah, cold approaches work, man. You do have to run a lot of volume though. But it is what it is, right? You don't know much about the girl's background. If she's single, she doesn't have a post-it note on her forehead what her relationship status is, right? So a lot of times you're going to just strike out naturally because the girl has a boyfriend or she's just simply not interested, right? You might not even be her type. She might have a boyfriend. Maybe she's just having a really shitty bad day and you get rejected. But you got to just stop, like, don't overthink it. It definitely works, you know? Don't ever not do it. You should do it, and you should combine it with, the online dating stuff. So it definitely works. But if you do get rejected a lot, or a lot of girls ghost you after you get their number, right? That's part of the game, right? Cold approach, it really is a numbers game. At the end of the day, you do got to run a lot of volume. But I say, if you can approach, I'd say if you can approach just 2 girls every single day, 2 to 3 girls every single day, like by the end of the month, if you look at how many girls you've approached, at least several of them, you probably say you approach 3 hot girls every single day, right? By the end of the month, that's nearly 100 girls, right? And out of those 100 hot girls, at least several of them would have probably led to some type of date, right? So it really is a numbers game at the end of the day. So yeah, cold approach is really volume, but I'd say for people starting out, challenge yourself, do 1 cold approach every single day. And I promise you, by the end of a month, your social skills, your confidence is going to absolutely skyrocket, bro. Exactly. Don't overthink it. Ignore the bitch voice inside your head, and you just got to start. What do you rate Kai? I have no idea who that is. Cal? How do you rate Cal? What is Cal? That girl from? What? Oh, the first girl from college. Was she a white girl? Just curious. If so, how would you rate her on SMV scale? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. She was white. She was pretty cute. I'd say she was like a 6 out of 10. Yeah. No, she was very sweet. I mean, it didn't end up working out, but we went on a couple dates. You know what I mean? So it was something. Broke the approach anxiety factor. What was the highest SMV white girl that you've ever dated? I mean, I've dated tons of cute girls in the past. I mean, I usually don't date the 8s and 9s. Not that they're just, I have matched with them before on dating apps. I've gone on dates with them, but it's not even so like how difficult it is to date them. It's just the fact that they come with a lot of baggage, right? They're going to get a lot of attention. The girls that are like 8s and above, a lot of men sliding in their DMs. It's just going to be a headache overall, I mean, I've dated girls that were pretty hot. 8, I'd say like 9s and 10s though on a SMV level. We're talking like those are like influencers, right? I don't think I've never gone that high, but I've been with a bunch of 8s before, and even 8 out of 10s is kind of just like it's just too much of a headache, just way too much of a headache. I noticed that 8s have a lot of drama. A lot of guys, are always going to be hitting on them, gawking at them wherever they go. My best advice is, go for like a 6 or a 7, a quality girl between 6, around a 6 out of 10, right? That's more wholesome, wifey material. That's what you should go for, honestly. Less headache, no crazy followings on social media, just wholesome, right? So nowadays, quality over quantity, usually stick to 6s and 7s and not 8s. These 8s, come with a lot of headache. You know what I mean? But I'd say around an 8 out of 10 would be the highest SMV wise that I've ever dated. All right. It was a long stream. Give you guys an hour and 15 minutes. I do got to go to bed, but this was fun. Real quick, for those of you watching the stream later on, give the stream a thumbs up, drop a comment below. Again, do the stream every other Thursday. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're interested in taking your dating life to the next level, check out the Skool community. Link is in the description. And be sure, again, to grab your copy of my new book, South Asian Casanova. Link is in the description to that as well. Like and subscribe. Drop a comment below. Give the stream a thumbs up. It's been an honor talking to you on this stream. Shout out to everybody that had questions. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.